I read that Stan's character was actually developed after your own dad.
Yeah.
And one of the lines you said is you described something as a barrel of assholes.
Yes,
So tell me more about that story.
There's a line, I guess I can say it. There's a line in the pilot when he sees the demon for the first time and he's stunned by it and he just goes, Jesus, lady, anybody ever tell you look like a barrel full of assholes? And that came word for word from my dad was watching the Red Sox and whatever pitcher was on the opposite team, just sitting there and he just went, ugh, that guy looks like a barrel full of assholes. Like not even talking to anybody. I was like, keep talking, keep going. Yeah.
Speaking of baseball, do you have a team you're rooting for right now?
Well, I'm from Boston, so I have to root for the Sox, but they're done, so it doesn't. Yeah.
All right, so your address growing up was actually 9 Cemetery Drive?
9 Cemetery Street in Hopedale, Massachusetts, and it was quite literally the intersection of Cemetery and Hope Streets, which is, if you don't become a comedian with that address.
Yeah, do you think, did that kind of spur you really wanting to do this type of show?
Having the last name of Gould and growing up on Cemetery Street, the fact that I would be into all this stuff was sort of preordained, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would it be weird if I became an accountant?
Yeah. What have you enjoyed most about seeing this series come to life?
I will say I was a writer on The Simpsons for a long time, and in animation, you're very in control of the characters. You know, they quite literally do exactly what you tell them to do because it's animation. And this, with John especially, I wrote this character and then I gave it to him, and I watched him. I had to give it away and watch him turn it into something his own, and it was amazing, and it was so much better than what I had thought. But it was really the first time where I kind of like watched something come to life on its own that I really had nothing to do with, you know. The Stan that's on the screen was not the Stan that I originally had in my head. I had my dad in my head. My dad's 85. But John really created this completely unique character based on what I wrote, and it was great. It was easy because I did none of the work and get all the credit.
What are you most
Some of the credit.
What are you most excited for fans and for the viewers to see?
Well, when I was 9 years old, I made a 8mm werewolf comedy with my friends in the neighborhood called Howling Harry. And I knew then, like, I like to make stuff that's really scary, but also really funny. And at some points it's scary and at some points it's funny. I said that when I was 9, and here I am 20 years later doing pretty much exactly that. And that's what the show is. The scary stuff is really scary and the funny stuff is really funny, and I hope people like it.
Mm-hmm. So 172 different types of demons, is that what we're going to see?
Yeah, and if we get 172 episodes and they need us to make more, we'll just come up with another curse. That's easy.
And what scares you most in life?
The election.
Amen.
There's a great show. A friend of mine, there are two things. They're orange and scary on the outside, hollow on the inside, and you throw them away in November. One is a jack-o'-lantern.